Eagles get the win to move to 2-0, 20-17 over the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 0-2 in the first time Patrick Mahomes has lost 3 straight starts, dating back to the Super Bowl. First time in his NFL career.
Yeah.
2 of which have come to the Eagles, of course.
And with a tough schedule still for a few weeks. I mean, I'm not saying this is a scenario like set up for Nick Wright. Like, he must be loving life right now. Because right now, everyone's going to be writing off the Chiefs. Shouty show Monday. It's like, it's done.
There's at least one article that Dynasty's dead.
That's what I'm saying. The Dynasty's over. The Chiefs can't win. I mean, I already saw Dano last week being like, unless the offense does X, Y, and Z, they cannot win a Super Bowl. Like, the eulogy is being written, which is Nick's time to shine, because he's going to spend this week being like, the Chiefs, don't worry about it. They're just mailing through September. You know, they know January is where we do these things. Like, they're going to win another Super Bowl, and you guys are all going to look like idiots, and I'm going to look like a genius.
So both teams traded a couple drives early. Kansas City missed a field goal. Eagles got up 7-0 with a Saquon Barkley 13-yard touchdown. Chiefs came back with the next 2 scores, including a Mahomes scramble for 13 yards. They did not get much going in the passing game here. So it was Mahomes scrambling, which is always part of what made him special, right? Is if you're going to take away my pass game, I'm just going to outrun you. And he had 7 carries for 66 yards, including that touchdown. He had like 60 yards at the half on the ground. But the overall stat line, very pedestrian, especially, before that 49-yard touchdown to Tyquan Thornton. But the key plays in the game here, the second half was just a fun back and forth. This was a defensive battle. Like, the Eagles' offense wasn't great either. It was a defensive battle. Spags was sending the house at the Eagles. And we talked about this on the pregame show. Hurts has this history with the blitz where it's kind of hit or miss, right? Like, there's some times where you can really shut down this Eagles offense if you blitz him, send extra rushers at the right time. But they had one answer for it, which ended up being huge, which was a jump ball to Devontae Smith. The second time that Spags really sent the house, it was 7 or 8. I mean, it's one of those when you're watching the broadcast, it feels like the Engage 8 call on Madden, feels like everybody. And he just chucked it up, jump ball to Devontae Smith. That led to the touchdown that put the Eagles up 20-10. And then the other key play here is every time the Eagles get to 1 yard, you got tush push. And if you have multiple shots at it, like the Chiefs stopped it twice, but it was on like second or third down, So you have to stop it again. And it's really tough to stop. So if
they have more than
Jalen Hurts with 9 carries for 15 yards, including his kneels.
If they have more than one shot at that play, it's almost impossible
no chance
to stop them, like getting the yard.
But there was one I think they had. It was a long one, and they got like 3/4 of the long one. Then it was inches to go on the goal line, and they got it. I mean, it's just good luck stopping that twice.
I also think, look, whatever about banning the play, I think we've reached a point, though, where they need to start officiating it correctly. I mean, the Eagles are, let's say, charitably pushing the boundaries of the rules when it comes to offensive offside, so the offensive lineman lining up essentially ahead of the ball, and false starts. Like, there's one of those plays where, multiple ones actually, where both guards jump the snap. Now, okay, it looks obvious when it's like super slow-mo and we're talking frame by frame, but it's obvious enough live that they're going ahead of the ball, right? And we can talk about whether the play itself should be banned because it's an unfair whatever, but like, you're not calling the rules anymore. At least, make them earn it the way you should be earning it and not cheating the other elements of the rules as well. It's genuinely unstoppable if you're literally not going to call them for lining up offside and jumping the snap.
There was one of the touchdowns. It did look like a false start. Was that a false start the same way Jawan Taylor always looks like a false start? Like, it was perfect timing? It did look like somebody moved early on the Eagles on their
I'm not sure, but it's a
fourth and goal, 4th and inches.
Yeah,
tush push.
They are regularly cheating is a strong term. They are regularly, I think, stepping over the rules when it comes to offsides or false starts, whether or not it happens on each specific tush push play.
So, a couple big plays in this game. High level, this felt a lot like last year's Chiefs games, where it was it's a defensive-minded team. This is Mahomes' team, but it's a defensive-minded team. Keep them in this game here. First drive of the second half, the Chiefs they had 3 completions for 9 yards, and they had a 4th and 1, right? So because it was dink and dunk. It's 4th and 1. They go for it on 4th down. Philly makes the stop. Felt like it was going to be a pivotal point in the game where they're giving the Eagles unbelievable field position. And then Spags and the Chiefs defense, they get a sack and they knock the Eagles out of field goal range. I think they ended up punting. And so it really was a great defensive battle back and forth. The difference this year for the Chiefs is they're calibrated to lose by 3 instead of win by 3. I'm just saying, this is what we talk about when we say the close games. When's it going to stop? And sometimes it's not within a season, because now technically the Chiefs are 0-2 in one-possession games after going 11-0 or whatever it was last year in the one-possession games. Those few plays are going the other way now. And by the way, it was only a one-possession game because he did hit Thornton on that bomb. And then, of course, the play of the game, the very best Chiefs drive. They get it all the way down into the red zone. Mahomes puts it right on Kelce's hands. They're so funny watching them play because there's so many plays where you're like, man, they're on the same page. And by the way, Kelce looks quick and it looks slick, right? Running his routes, and after the catch, he looks better than last year.
Yeah.
And there's so many plays where Mahomes throws it early and Kelce's, boom, he's ready for it. This one looked like he was either Mahomes was a tick early or Kelce was a little unsure, but it put it on his hands. Kelce doesn't make the catch, bounces up into Andrew Makuba's hands. Makuba returns it about 50 yards, tracked down by rookie left tackle Josh Simmons, who stopped, who saved a touchdown temporarily, but that ended up leading to the eventual jump ball to Devontae Smith, and that was what put the Eagles up 10. That was a 10, 12, 14-point swing there. Instead of the Chiefs going up to take the lead, they ended up going down 2 scores on the ensuing drive. Hey guys, real quick, only 40% of our viewers are actually subscribed, so let's change that. Hit that subscribe button, and now let's get back to the action.
So Andrew Makuba looks great. He looks like a real find for that defense.
Shout out Drake Holiday in the chat.
Really nice play by him, albeit one that obviously Kelce contributed to. Incredible play by Josh Simmons to run him down and save a touchdown. Amazing performance. The Kelce thing. It's weird because he physically looks better than he did last year. However, through 2 weeks, he has bobbled the ball into an interception, this one. He's taken out his own wide receiver by running mesh at a bad depth, and he hesitated running a shallow cross where it should have been a touchdown in the end zone if he just run through the ball. So through 2 weeks, he's had a turnover, should have had a touchdown, and taken out one of the most important players on offense.
Proprioception when you get
wild,
older.
Rough start for Travis Kelce.
Your spatial awareness goes. It's the first thing to go in your late 30s.
I don't know if that's going to get, that's just 3 massively problematic plays of this Chiefs offense. Mahomes is putting his body a lot on the line in the first 2 weeks. And he said, he was talking about it before this game, he usually saves this kind of thing for December, January, where they really need it. And he feels they really need it now. And I don't think he's wrong. If Mahomes wasn't taking off, scrambling, trucking guys like Makuba, doing whatever he could, they would be getting blown out of these games. The only thing keeping them in the games is Mahomes making ridiculous things happen, largely with his legs. As a passer, the game just isn't there at the moment. Obviously, a huge part of that is, look who he's throwing to. He doesn't have the receiving help right now, particularly if Travis Kelce is going to turn, positive plays into interceptions or into non-touchdowns. They are in trouble, the Chiefs offense. Now, they're going to get some reinforcements. They're going to get players back. It's not all bad, but, even Mahomes, who I think is doing what he can to elevate the play of everyone around him, he also has a wide open, Saquon Thornton.
He will not have a receiver more.
By 5 yards.
20 yards behind the defense, and he outthrew him by about 10 yards.
Look, the Eagles' defense
overthrew him.
Did a really good job here overall, and they did it differently than they did it in the Super Bowl. Remember the Super Bowl, the stat coming out of that game was that they didn't blitz him once, not one time. Now, I think depending on how you record a blitz, we can debate that. But anyway, the stat was they didn't blitz him once. They blitzed him a reasonable amount of times in this game, double-digit times Philadelphia blitzed Mahomes. Perhaps thinking that they just don't have the weaponry. Why not throw it at him? But there was that sequence where late in the game, they dropped coverage completely on Saquon Thornton twice or 3 times. Twice they dropped coverage, and then the third one they actually had him covered, and he made the play at the end of it anyway. But The first one, complete and total coverage bust, and Mahomes missed him by 5 yards. And it was another one of those ones where he's so wide open that if you just put air under the football, just don't overthrow him. Like, let him anywhere that's catchable, and he can make the play, and it's a huge pass play. Instead, Mahomes misses him by a mile. And it's like, look, I understand, you're making miracles happen back there, but like it's a deep ball, but it's a layup relative to these other plays you're making. Like, just throw something that's catchable.
Mahomes had him on third down on a double move earlier in the game too, and I thought just overthrew him and missed him. Thornton's been open behind the defense multiple times in the first 2 weeks, and I think there's two big completions in there, including the one that got them within 3 late, and then the Eagles ran the clock out and finished it up. So good job by the Eagles. And the thing I say about Philadelphia every week, multiple ways to win. Multiple ways to win. It could be the run game. It could be slow it down. I also thought, as much as I complimented the Chargers for being aggressive in the opening week against the Chiefs, I don't think the Eagles were necessarily conservative, but they were certainly more willing to trust their defense. And that doesn't usually go well against the Chiefs. The Eagles settled for a couple long field goals. Again, going back to your point, like, teams are more content. They're okay taking a 55-yarder. And there was multiple times the Eagles, they ran draws on 3rd and 15, 3rd and 12. Like, they just said, we're going to take 6 yards on the ground and punt. And it worked for them. I don't think that normally works against the Chiefs, but I think it goes down to like the final line for Mahomes passing the ball, 16 of 29 for 187, a touchdown and a pick, sacked twice, and then you take away the 49-yarder late to Tyquan Thornton, it looks that much worse. Yeah. And so the Eagles were not afraid of this Chiefs offense. Look, again, I agree. Like, when Rashee Rice is back and Xavier Worthy's they said he might be back next week, maybe this looks completely different. But same thing we've been talking about these last couple of years. When there's a piece or two missing for Kansas City, they have trouble being a good, highly effective offense. They are a ball control, short passing type of team that plays defense. And when you play these close games as often as you do, sometimes the bounces go the other way, and that's what's happened through 2 weeks.
I mean, the Eagles are going to be ahead of the curve on this because of what they did to Kansas City in the Super Bowl. But I feel like the mystique for this Chiefs offense is very much worn off now. Like, teams are not scared of them anymore. Like, they are willing. That classic thing of, you don't blitz Mahomes, like, think of what he's going to do to you. Teams aren't scared of it anymore. Teams are now coming after this Chiefs offense because they just do not believe that they have the ability to hurt them. And given their current supporting cast of weaponry, I'm not sure they're wrong. The run game has kind of evaporated. Pacheco is not having the same production that he had. Kareem Hunt is not the player that he used to be, even though he might be the best player in their backfield right now. The passing game does not have the weapons, certainly not with Travis Kelce conspiring to turn good plays into bad plays. They don't have the weaponry to scare teams anymore. So it's like a self-perpetuating circle. Teams are now no longer scared that they can be hurt by the Chiefs offense, so they're coming after them more, which is putting them into tougher situations, which is making it harder for the Chiefs to hurt them, and it just spirals. It's too early to write them off or to say this is terminal or to, write any of the eulogies and that kind of thing. But I do think they're in trouble. Like, this is not a good situation to be in. They're 0-2 and they're facing some tough opponents.
Yeah, we mentioned the schedule a while. So they've got the Giants this week, and you still have the Ravens in week 4, Lions in week 6, I believe it is. So just something to keep an eye on. The first half of the season schedule for the Chiefs, I think, is more difficult. They have the Bills in week 9, then a bye. Depending on what you think of the Broncos, who always play them tough, or the Raiders, the second half of the season might be a little bit easier. But if they find themselves in a hole, remember the goal is Super Bowl in Kansas City, and for Buffalo and for Baltimore, it either leads to an away game in the playoffs, or maybe there's a chance someone else is challenging for the division this year. But it's early. They're 0-2. I'm not writing the eulogy for the Chiefs. Credit the Eagles, man. Multiple ways to win. Love the way their defense played. A.J. Brown had 5 catches for 27. A lot of short stuff. Brady was calling that out. Like, they haven't really even attacked down the field this year at all. There's the jump ball to Devontae Smith in this one. There's the bomb that he threw to Jahan Dotson the first game. Hurts. But the ball control ground game for the Eagles and playing defense has been working. so far here.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video.
Check the Mic is live every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing.
And the all-knowing algorithm is convinced you'll also like these videos, and who are we to argue?